If you're planning on buying a house or you know someone who is, you need to watch this story.
One way to protect yourself is to get what used to be called a builder's report, nowadays a house inspection.
Be warned, you should be very careful whose advice you take when you hire an inspector.
A pre-purchase house inspection can help you buy a bargain, land you a dump or kill your sale. There are dozens, hundreds of inspectors out there, but no rules they have to follow.
Carl Papa is apparently too good at his job. He runs a house inspection company, and a real estate agent reckoned his reports were scaring off her buyers.
We were more so disappointed than anything, because from a professional person in the industry, we felt let down really.
Carl's reports were over the top, according to Manarewa-based agent Debbie Lovegrove.
She even put a clause in her contracts excluding Carl's company. Carl complained to the Real Estate Agents Authority and he won.
Debbie Lovegrove was found guilty of unsatisfactory conduct and ordered to apologise.
Well, it was certainly a relief, because we know that, OK, if anything's going to happen, there is somebody out there going to do something about it with the new Act.
So I just wondered, do you have any comment on the Real Estate Agents Authority determination?
As far as I know, I'm not allowed to comment as ordered by head office.
You're not allowed to comment?
No.
Thanks very much for your time. Bye-bye. This sort of thing is far from unusual, I'm told, and the Real Estate Agents Authority is investigating 3 similar complaints right now. And listen to this.
They're very pedantic. They scare a lot of the buyers.
These are covert recordings of real estate agents talking about one house inspection company.
I personally find them a bit over the top. Over the top.
If I'm buying a house, I wouldn't use Realsure. I'll use any other companies.
What I find is that they cover their ass more than they will make a call on something. That's all I'm saying.
All the time. It's an ongoing issue for us, absolutely.
Those candid comments are all about Wellington-based company Realsure.
This will need to be investigated further.
We're still getting clients ringing us to say that their agents are telling them they can't use Realsure or the vendor won't let them use Realsure.
First-time buyer Carla Balfour's bought 2 Realsure reports in the year she's been looking.
Every time the agent says something to me, my jaw drops. It's, why are they saying this when, as a first-home buyer, I would want the advice to get someone who was accredited and to know that the information I was getting was true, yet they all seem to want me to get information that suits them, not me.
There's a fair degree of mutual frustration, even hostility here. The real estate sources I've talked to accuse Realsure of effectively failing too many houses.
End of Rome.
There's actually quite a degree of hostility, isn't there, between the agents and you? It's getting quite nasty, isn't it?
It's really unfortunate.
I mean, you're killing their deals, aren't you?
The standards say we have to cover these things off. Therefore, if we find them in the house, we will put them in the report.
Are you identifying things that might be a problem in 5 years but really aren't now? I mean, is that your job?
The purchaser has the right to know that, particularly with monolithic weather-tight risk homes. They have the right to know what they're taking on.
And Sarah Simon is damning about the property inspection game in general.
The property inspection industry is not in a good condition. Government won't regulate our industry. Anybody can be a house inspector and anybody can claim compliance with the standards. How does the consumer know? They probably won't until they've had a report and maybe bought a problem.
So what do you look for? How do you know that the inspector you're hiring is up to the job?
Realsure is pushing this accreditation scheme run by the Building Officials Institute, but there are just 9 members in the entire country. There is a New Zealand standard, but it's not compulsory. It's mentioned in heaps of advertising, but that's no guarantee it's being fully observed. Are you NZS 4306 compliant in your reports?
Yes, we are.
Do you have professional indemnity insurance?
That's cover for stuff like loss from negligent advice, and it's required for standard compliance.
No, we don't. Yes, we do. I do. No.
We do. Is it too easy to get into?
Far too easy. And they decide to call themselves a house inspector or a building surveyor with very little training, no experience, which is affecting the industry.
People are unknowingly buying a substandard home with issues based on a substandard report, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen.
An agent can't prevent you using an inspector of your choice. Get in writing the inspector is NZS compliant. Ask if they have professional indemnity insurance. And remember, it's a visual inspection only. If it can't be seen, it won't be in the report.
The Building Surveyors Institute is even more scathing than RealSure. It says there's a culture of cheap surveys by poorly qualified inspectors who provide tick-the-box type surveys for peanuts.
Unfortunately, the house inspectors don't have a professional body, so there's no one to speak up for them.
Maurice Williamson is the Building and Construction Minister. He wouldn't do an interview, and I formed the strong impression he and/or his office didn't give a stuff about this topic.
And the Real Estate Institute wouldn't comment on RealSure directly, but it does recommend having a look at Consumer Build, where there's good information about property inspections.
You can find lists of qualified or accredited people on the Building Officials and Building Surveyors website.